You ever meet someone who feels like a dream at first? Like they walk straight out of your imagination, sweet, warm, attentive, almost too perfect? This is not just luck. Sometimes it's strategy, and that's where our story begins. It started when Ethan, a regular 30-year-old guy from Ohio, met Lena. She wasn't just beautiful, she was magnetic. When she looked at you, she made you feel like you were the only person in the room. And when she talked, she made you feel understood in a way you didn't even know you needed. For Ethan, who had always been the nice guy, the reliable guy, the man who worked quietly and hoped someone would finally see his worth, Lena felt like destiny. But in reality, she was something else. She was a puppet master. And Ethan didn't know that the strings were already tied around him. At first, everything was perfect. She texted constantly, called him every night, sent long paragraphs about how amazing he was. She studied his habits, his fears, his wounds. And she used the oldest tactic in manipulation, love bombing. Suddenly, Ethan went from feeling invisible to feeling like he was the center of the universe. And that's how manipulators trap men like him, not through fear, but through fulfilling the emotional needs no one ever cared about. They don't attack your weaknesses. They worship them until you start trusting them blindly. Ethan didn't realize it yet, but he was giving her the most powerful weapon in the world, access to his heart. Slowly, things changed. It didn't happen in one big moment. Manipulators are smarter than that. They don't break you all at once. They break you in pieces, quietly. One day, Lena said, "You know, I hate when you hang out with your friends. They don't appreciate you like I do." And Ethan thought, she just cares about me. She wants more time together. Another day, she said, "You always listen to everyone else, but when it comes to me, you suddenly have doubts?" And Ethan felt guilty, like he wasn't doing enough. Then she added, "If you really love me, you'd understand." And just like that, he found himself changing his schedule, cutting people off, walking on emotional eggshells. Not because she forced him, but because he didn't want to lose the one person who made him feel wanted. This is how manipulators work. They don't control you physically, they control your fear of losing them. Lena became Ethan's entire world, and once he was fully tangled in her strings, she pulled back, less texting, longer replies, cold voice, distance. And Ethan panicked. He kept thinking, what did I do wrong? Why is she upset? How do I fix this? Manipulators thrive in this space, the space between affection and withdrawal. They make you chase the version of them you first met, the sweet one, the loving one, the dream, but that version never existed. It was bait. Ethan didn't know this yet. He still thought if he tried harder, loved more, gave more, she'd return to that early sweetness. But she never did. Instead, she introduced the next stage, gaslighting. Whenever Ethan expressed confusion or hurt, Lena would say, "You're imagining things. You're too sensitive. You always overreact. Stop making me the bad guy." And every time she said those words, Ethan doubted himself more. He no longer trusted his own emotions, but he trusted hers. And that's exactly how manipulators win, by rewriting your reality until it matches their script. Then came the final blow, the guilt cycle. Whenever she wanted something, money, favors, emotional labor, she would play the victim. "No one has ever loved me the way you do. You're all I have. If you leave, I'll be broken. You know my past, don't be like the others." Suddenly, Ethan wasn't just her partner. He was her emotional caretaker, her rescuer, her therapist. He was trapped in a cage made of compassion. And every time he tried to step back, she reminded him of how much she needed him. Manipulators know exactly how to use love as leverage. Not by making you happy, but by making you responsible for their happiness. But here's the thing. Every puppet eventually realizes there are strings attached. Ethan's moment came one night when he found messages on her phone. Messages she said were from just a friend. Except this friend was calling her baby, saying he missed her, asking her to visit. When Ethan confronted her, she didn't apologize. She didn't explain. She flipped the entire situation and said, "If you trusted me, you wouldn't be checking my phone. You're the real problem. You're insecure, you're controlling, you're toxic." And for the first time in months, Ethan paused. He wasn't the one who had changed, she was. He wasn't losing his mind. She was making him doubt it. He wasn't toxic. He was trapped. That night, Ethan finally saw the strings for what they were. Not love, not compatibility, not destiny, but manipulation disguised as affection. Ethan left. It wasn't easy. Manipulators make leaving feel like betrayal. Like jumping off a cliff without knowing if there's ground underneath. But the moment he stepped away, the fog cleared. He could breathe again, think again, live again, and he realized something powerful. When love hurts more than it heals, when affection feels like control, when the relationship takes more than it gives, you're not loved. You're being handled. There's a difference between a partner and a puppet master, and walking away isn't weakness. It's the first real act of strength. Because real love doesn't pull strings. Real love sets you free.